Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Good morning. I guess I'm running a little bit behind. There's the open, they're selling it. We had a pretty significant move up, you can see from here. Let's pull the chart over and investigate what's going on. We have PPI, so we got 10 minutes. Really significant move up, and we're back into this range right here, so that's super important. You can even see this line here provided support again. It kind of sucks because I hated that range. Oh, okay, and the E-mini is down. Okay, so what happened? Trade war news, maybe. CNBC. Lira collapse as Erdogan tells Turks they have their dollars, we have our God. Ooh. Turkish lira drops 12% as erosion calls for citizens to convert out dollars and gold. Why is Turkey's currency crashing? That is not something was even on my radar. Well, we've got an interesting situation here. Okay. We do have PPI. Thanks. Jeez, this is crazy. How do you do that? It's just really weird. Let's read it. What are we expecting for PPI exactly? Or sorry, CPI, 0.2. Okay, well, we got about 7 minutes. I still have some food. Where's Bitcoin too? We should check that. Okay, Bitcoin is actually up a little bit. Or at least it's finding some support at 63. This development's gonna just throw the markets on their heads because nobody was hedged for it. Although it's not necessarily like a devastating blow to the stock market indexes, it's just assuming that we don't like extend further down off of the open. But yeah, that's kind of interesting.
Turkey's finance minister approach of the
Sure.
just up there, and we're just tapping, month on month, looking and year on spend, and month on year on year spend, then shift to change in employment, looking at 17,000, unemployment 9%, hourly earnings, and the real weekly earnings month on month. Looking at spot one. One minute.
Okay, the number's 0.2. They're pulling. If we end up with a number under expectations, given the other news that we've had that's been pushing us up, I think you could see a very impulsive move upwards.
Month on month spot 2%, year on year 2.9%, core month on month spot 2%,
Stay in line.
year on year 2%, Canadian employment 51.1K, that's 54,100, unemployment rate 5.8%, hourly earnings 3%, full-time employment change down 28.0, part-time employment change 82.0, participation rate in line 65.4, real weekly earnings month on month minus 0.5% with a
So no trade for me.
To 3% from a of spot 1% for the. Just to recap those CPI numbers out the US month on month coming in at percent, year on year 9%, year on year for the core number coming in at 4%, with month on month coming in at spots 2%.
Okay, so the number doesn't change the outlook at all. The trend is still up, and we've stopped at 31 even twice now. I mean, we bounced off of it. So if we come back down to it, I want to see if it holds. So that's why I'm taking 31.5. Or that's why I've got the order in. But when you look at the order flow there, I saw a lot of orders go through. That looks to me like people just exiting trades because it was just kind of a mess and it didn't really do anything clear. So question is, how likely are we to move up? How likely are we to break that low? I don't know. I mean, if they come back down to it, there is a chance that they could break it. But it definitely looks to me like it's balanced, and that's going to be the bottom of your range. So I think it's worth a shot still. Watch it prove me spectacularly wrong. Boom. I'm not seeing liquidity build here. May pull this. Hmm. In fact, the only liquidity that I'm seeing is the 01, which may just be a trap. This right here. Yeah. I have some thoughts on this, but I'm gonna wait until we can like really rant about it. Because they sound delusional to me. Okay. I'm gonna have to give it a little bit more room than I normally, just because of the way. So they're continuing through to 30.5. Oh, okay, good. See that build? This is gone down. See the 5-year turnaround, please.
Turkish tenants of
So the thing is, if you want monetary independence, trashing the dollar is like the worst way to get it, right? Well, I don't like that at all. Oh, no thanks. Right? Like Turkey just turned themselves into, you know, another they put themselves on the naughty list, right? Now you're on the same level as Russia, Iran. Like, I can't imagine what was it that happened that made them think that they had to do this. It's definitely missing a part of this story. I'm glad I got out there. When I saw that iceberg there at the +1 tick, it was like, yeah, this is not just gonna hold. There's too many people trading here. I mean, and of course it did. It went further. Now maybe this holds and it goes back up. It's too hard for me to say.
budgetary.
I'm gonna need to see some sort of build down here to buy it though. this liquidity that was above us, though, does not seem like real, like. It's just stacking to push it down. We push back up through it. I think there's no doubt that. I shouldn't say there's no doubt, but if we go back, if we come down and we come, like, let's say that we come down to like 28.5, that might be a good spot. And we come back up, I think that would go through that node. I mean, I think that if we came down, that we should trade back to 03, actually. Canada was a beat. What was the number? Unemployment. 54 versus 17, those are pretty good. They're still pretty weak numbers, but well, actually, is it? Maybe I'm just off. Let's double check here. They're not strong numbers, but they're not unusual. Strong number would be like 75, 100. So 54 is okay, and since it was above expectations, I'd say it's pretty good. And it does seem like that's not good. It's the Happy Friday. Yep. Crazy Friday. It's going to be interesting to see what the market does on the open. I personally don't understand how such volatility caused by Turkey affects US stocks, but the banks being down in particular, I find somewhat concerning. I think some people must be worried about, like, what if Turkey, if Turkey's going down this road, what if Turkey and Iran and Syria get together and try to ditch petrodollars, sort of a thing? That must be the concern. Here, well, now I'm seeing it build and it was a little late. I should have gotten filled on that last spat of volume. That was a little too fidgety for me. Like this pulled, then this pulled, then this pulled. They went back and forth. We got a bit of volume going through here. This shouldn't have pulled. Okay, got out. Good deal. And you can see where the liquidity that I was relying upon. Here, and you saw it a little bit in the 5-year. When the 5-year pushed down, it just disappeared.
Sellers, 3,000. From 20,000 given. Upcoming pricing inflation. Lira's calmed down.
So this 300 is the overnight midpoint. It was looking weak. Not a ton of orders hit it, but it was looking weak. So we're going to keep an eye on that. I may have to wait for it to come up in the hope that it gives me a pullback to go long if I want to go long. Moment though, with the level 2 is playing so many games, I'm having a hard time deciding if it's actually going to hold or not. Offers look a lot stronger now than they were too. A little bit of a pull, some volume. Would not take much for them to bust through here. Though this might be a spot where we could see an iceberg too. Let's see. Okay, so they pushed through it and fought back.
FX lira back on the 780. Hearing that Trump says he's also doubling of tariffs on aluminium with respect to Turkey. Trump saying has authorized doubling of tariffs on aluminium with respect to Turkey. Further now. Trump saying the aluminium tariffs on now be 20%, steel at 50%.
Oh my. Okay, ticking 05 is good because that's a higher buy.
Trump saying our relations with Turkey aren't as good at this via Twitter.
What did he say in Twitter? Exactly. I have just authorized a doubling of tariffs on steel and aluminum with respect to Turkey as their currency. The Turkish lira slides rapidly downward against our very strong dollar. Aluminum will now be 20% and still 50%. Our relations with Turkey are not good at this time. You know, he almost never says that our relationship with somebody is bad. That's interesting. Okay, well, we did see a valid long there, and I didn't want to hit into it, and I clicked it as soon as it ticked up, and of course we did not get filled. And I kind of suspected that's what was going to happen, but I'm going to leave it there because if it comes back down there, I really want it. I really want to see it not touch 30. Could happen. Could just be disappointed. It was a good trade, and I think you got to take it off at the 05 if you're just taking the scalp. There's 4 ticks for starters, and this, what is this? 015 should is it? That's gonna be the next place that we gotta get over. And in the 5-year, they definitely thickened up below us, but not quite in the 10-year. It's kind of questionable. I think we should probably see a little bit of a move down here. This is where our long is going to be. We got to be on our toes. Okay, I see what's going on here. So what happened was they were negotiating about this pastor that's being held in Turkey, and it didn't happen. And that's when Ed Rogan went like off the hook, and he says, that don't forget, if they have their dollars, we have our people, our God. We are working hard. Look at where we were 16 years ago, and look at us now. And then he told everybody that they should convert out of dollars and buy the lira. And what happened? The lira just plummeted. So I doubt that the people are actually doing that. If they do, they're dumb. But that is exactly like the worst, man. That's like the worst thing you could say. And you say something like that, and then the currency goes down, that is really, really bad for you. That is very bad for you. Okay, well, they're not really selling down through here. We could still see us maybe get down to where the risk is okay. We could maybe take 120 if they show it again. That is, I don't know. I think I missed it. Yeah, when you get an overnight move like we had, you want to see the midpoint hold. And now that we're at this point, I think we could see 30. It's just I don't see my risk my low risk entry. I should add to that. Oh jeez. Interesting. Am I gonna get filled? I gotta get rid of one.
Block by.
So, I've never gotten a fill like that before. I've never gotten a fill like that before. That was nuts. Should not be so hard to get filled here. I'm not necessarily, they're not talking on the squawk. Okay. Now we can breathe a little bit.
A data hearing is needs estimating UK headquartered the up spot percent quarter second quarter so earlier.
So I'm looking for it to enter into this profile again and trade to the other side of it. And I really could have gotten out of that at break even in B+4. That's okay. Was not in my plan to be filled 2 contracts, so I had to do something about that. Just not so crazy action here. But he really wants to sell it. Okay.
inflow for Treasury SEP 18, the 120,000 sold between.
Kafefi. Recenter this. Okay. Yeah, people are nervous to take it here. So there's 10. Wow.